In the weeks since Steve Jobs died, there's been an outpouring of gratitude from his fans for the way his inventions, like the iPad, changed their lives. Among the most passionate are parents of children with severe forms of autism, especially those who can't speak and appear hopelessly locked inside themselves. Those parents often say these kids understand more and know more than they're able to communicate. Well, now with the iPad and other tablet computers spreading through the autism community, some of those parents are finding out they were right. It turns out that autistic children show a real interest in the iPad with its easy touch and swipe screens. With specially designed applications, or apps, these computers are helping them communicate and unlocking the isolation of people like 27-year-old Joshua Hood.
The story will continue in a moment.
Imagine spending your life having conversations like this.
P, L.
Having to poke out words on a laminated piece of paper, one letter at a time.
C, plastic.
It was so frustrating for Josh, his mother Nancy says he would often give up and retreat into himself. At family gatherings, he was sidelined because no one understood him. At school, he sat passively in class, unable to participate. When Josh was feeling bad or really needed something, the family resorted to charades.
So you'd be like, you know, can you spell it? Can you show me? Oh, and so he would
He'd act it out almost?
He would look around a room and he'd see if he could find something that sounded like it. It was
just to tell you one little thing.
One thing that he wanted, yes.
How are you?
But not anymore.
I want a drink.
For the past year, Josh has been using an Apple iPad as his voice. And he is, well, he's reborn.
What are we having to eat today, Josh?
I want bagel bacon, please.
Okay.
Now, when he goes to the local diner, he can order his breakfast himself. Josh's mom downloaded a special language app and added pictures, videos, and symbols that allow him to convey his feelings,
Happy.
what he wants,
Toys.
and what he watches on TV.
TV News 60 Minutes.
My first 60 Minutes interview on an iPad. I asked about his brother Jimmy.
And how old is Jimmy? Is he?
Keyboard. Numbers. 2, 6. Jimmy 26.
So he's 1 year younger than you are. Is he your best friend? Oh, does that mean you love him? Yeah?
Josh is typical of people with autism in that he rarely looks directly at me, he rocks, and he has obsessions. In his case, it's World War II.
Hogan's Heroes Season 6.
His therapist, Tammy Taylor, will never forget the first time she put the iPad into his hands. What had been bottled up inside him began to pour out.
It just blew me away that he could actually tell me his brother had a goatee and was bald.
He's completely communicating.
Absolutely. He's part of the community. I mean, communication is the essence of being human, and here he is communicating fully now.
Totally.
The language app that Josh uses is called Proloquo to Go.
Josh's Spaces. My Places. Work.
But there are other apps created specifically for autistic people, like Autism Express, to help children identify emotions. And another called Look in My Eyes to practice eye contact.
How do you feel about being on TV? Can you show me on there?
Categories. Feelings. Happy. Joshua. Happy.
Tell me what's happening inside of you as your son starts to tell you what he's been thinking. He's probably been trying to tell you for 27 years.
Mind-boggling, to tell you the truth. I always had said when he was younger, it was like, you know, he was a computer and I was computer illiterate, and I didn't know how to press the right keys. Sorry, to get him to communicate. It was just, you know, that was the hard part, is you knew there was more in there and you didn't know how to get it out.
Touchscreen computers help Josh communicate. Can they do the same for these children at the Beverly School in Toronto, Canada? where half the students are severely autistic and more impaired than Josh.
You can show me.
The day we were there, kindergarten teacher Sabrina Morey struggled to figure out why 7-year-old Nathan was so upset.
Students don't have a way to communicate with me. They don't have a way to tell me how they're feeling, what they want, what they need, what's happened to them before they've come to school.
It's frustrating for you. What about for them?
It can be very frustrating.
Oh, look, the iPad's here.
For the past year, Maury and her fellow teachers Ian Stewart and Stacy Carroll have been involved in the first study to find out just how effective the iPad is with their students.
Has the iPad made any difference, Stacy?
The iPad has made a huge difference. There's something about using the iPad that draws the students in. They're engaged with it in a way that we don't see with other toys or puzzles or teaching tools.
The study has found that it improves the children's willingness to socialize, something autistic kids have trouble with, and it enhances their attention spans.
Can you look at the numbers, Jennifer?
In this video recorded by the school, Stacy's trying to get little Jennifer to focus on learning to count, using the old paper method.
She's not paying attention right now.
No, she's not looking at it.
But what a difference with the iPad.
1, 2, 3,
Good looking.
5.
Oh, that's wonderful. Look at her.
She's completely engrossed.
Totally. I hear that autistic children often prefer machines to having an interaction with a human being. Is that what we're seeing?
What we're thinking is that the device is constant. So the voice is constant, the pacing is constant, it waits. I might not wait as long.
You're unpredictable.
Right.
And they like order and control.
Absolutely.
But the teachers are finding that, as with autism in general, there's a range of ability when it comes to benefiting from the iPad.
When he likes something, he lights up.
I sat down with Sabrina and Nathan.
Ready? Letters. There you go.
As I watched, he repeatedly ignored her requests,
You choose a letter.
and she stepped in again and again to guide his hand. I wondered just how much he was learning on the iPad.
Which letter would you like to look at? And sometimes I have to hold my hand over it because otherwise he will just go in and out of programs.
What I found is that the device, the iPad, isn't for everyone. It's not for all my students. But the ones who are engaged by it, it's amazing. Do you want to do some work? No. Do you want to do some work? No.
It was thought that 10-year-old Nuno, who doesn't talk, had the IQ and attention span of a toddler.
Touch the one that is a healthy snack.
It was a nice snack. Good snack.
Awesome.
So when Ian tested him with a new vocabulary app, he was surprised by how much he knew.
Where is the wind chime? Great job. Touch the soldier. Yeah! Super.
Did you know he knew all those words?
No, absolutely not.
You had no idea?
No idea. No idea the extent of his vocabulary.
Find the saxophone. Yeah! You did it.
Saxophone. How did he know a saxophone, right?
And we've just recently found out that he has quite a love of classical music and opera, so he's
He has love of opera?
yes, he does.
And you didn't know it?
Didn't know it. Yeah.
Did that come through the iPad?
It came through exploring music selections on the iPad. As a reward, sometimes we let him watch some videos in class, some Pavarotti or some arias, and he likes conductors, he likes symphonies.
You're discovering that there's more inside these children's heads than you realized.
And that's something in a way I feel like we've known, but this is giving us a tool to really show us and prove that there is more happening.
Figuring out why so many autistic people are unable to speak, as many as 30% of them, is the subject of a major new research study at the University of Pittsburgh.
We don't have a biological marker for autism in most cases at the moment.
Neuroscientist Dr. Walter Schneider is investigating whether the language problems in autism are caused by a disruption in the brain's connective circuits.
What we're going to do now is the motor mapper.
He invited Temple Grandin, the renowned professor of animal science and author of 5 books on autism, to have her brain scanned as his first subject.
Okay, Temple, the noise is going to start. You doing all right?
I'm okay.
Grandin has Asperger's, a high-functioning form of autism, but she had trouble learning to speak.
My speech started coming in around, 3.5, a few stressed words at a time. Like I'd say, bah, for ball.
To analyze Grandin's brain, Schneider used a new technique he developed called high-definition fiber tracking that reveals the interior wiring in fine detail.
This is a normal brain.
This is a normal brain.
First, he showed us the fibers that make up the language circuit in a normal brain, a streamlined bundle with off-ramps at the top. But what about in a brain with autism, like Temple Grandin's?
But you're going to show us Temple's brain?
Yes, we're going to show the inside of Temple's brain.
What I saw floored me.
What did you think when you saw that? That is Temple, that is that. That is that?
That is this section and how it projects out.
But that's dramatic.
That's dramatic.
Schneider thinks this dramatic disorganization of the wiring may explain the language impairments seen in autism, but he won't know for sure until he scans more people. He hopes, among other things, that one day a brain scan will be able to diagnose autism early and tell parents if their child will ever speak.
So he's affectionate.
He's very, very affectionate.
Meantime, parents like Amanda Williams, Nathan's mother, are latching onto the iPad, marveling at how the device is opening windows into their children's minds, even if the windows are open only a crack.
I can't express to you enough how amazing it is to watch him take his little finger and go like that in a controlled way. I think the thing that made us cry was when he flipped through it and then he saw the tiger. And then he went, oh, I gotta go back. And went boom. And he looked at us with a smile on his face and he's like, I did it.
And it's such a tiny little thing. For him, it's huge, right?
It's huge. It's huge.
Where do you see the iPad taking him? What's the next step and the next step?
We don't know what the future holds for him in terms of speech. We like to think and we still hope that one day speech will come in whatever form. But if it doesn't, and if it's not perfect,
this will be his voice.
This will be his voice.